Hello, it's me, and it's time to now move on and tackle the Hell's Cuboid. This is a different kind of a ghost cube, and the solve...
Wait, hey Dad.
Hey, hi Noah.
Do you want to see my rainbow loom?
Your what?
My rainbow loom.
Rainbow loom.
Yeah.
That's that's those rubber band things. Oh, cool. That's neat. You made this?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, here.
You got a... Oh, it's a little more complicated. Excellent. Very good. Very good. You made a duck. You made a duck. That's pretty cool with the beak and the eyes. You made
and some
what
people.
the heck is? Well, hold on. You made a person.
A bathing suit person.
You made a bathing suit person. You made this, Noah?
Uh-huh.
Wait a minute. You got other people here. This guy's got a shirt. Oh, holy cow! Hold on. This this guy doing dancing? He's kicking a ball.
Yeah.
You made a guy kicking a ball. You made these?
Yeah.
How did you do this?
Pretty easy.
Pretty easy, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. What's this guy? This is
Zombie.
a zombie. You made a zombie rainbow loom. This looks like who Charlie Brown would be for your generation, and so these are all people that you made. Wow, with rainbow
I got
looms.
more. Here's a minion from Despicable Me.
Oh, you got a minion from Despicable. That's very good. Noah, how did you learn to do this?
I looked online.
You learned from this online. Wow.
Every Despicable Me minion deserves a trophy.
What's a trophy? So you made a trophy?
In the trophy, there's candy corn.
Candy corn. You made
Candy corn comes from a gumball machine.
A gumball machine? Sure. This is a gumball machine.
Yes. And
Wow.
this is a dog.
This is a dog hanging onto it. You made all these?
Yes.
A dog hanging onto a pencil?
Yeah.
Wow.
I
That's...
just hang it on a pen.
Oh, you can... Wow, so it's a pen
Or it can be
hugger.
grippy, like its feet can be grippy.
No, this is really good.
Yeah, I like it.
No, can you teach people how to do this?
Sure.
Really?
Yeah.
You can Well, let's talk. Do you want to do tutorials?
Sure, yeah.
All right. Well, if anyone is interested in learning how to make these things from rainbow looms, let me know. Wow, Noah, that's really good.
Thank you.
Well, I'll tell you what. Learn how to do a 2x2, and then we'll talk, and I'll set you up. All right. Wow. Okay. I gotta say, I have no idea how you did this. Good job, Noah.
Thank you.
Okay. So, wow. Jeez. So that's what he's doing in all his spare time. So anyway, now we're going to go to this Hell's Cuboid and kind of go through some of the differences here. Now, the main difference with these ghost puzzles is this one, and I think I've been through this before, but this one turns at the top, the middle, and the bottom over here. So you can see that you have consistent layers over here. This one, the ghost portion of it, was actually made, the off-center portion is not the top, but it's through here, and that makes a little bit of a challenge, because if you actually were to try to get it to the top, you have to put it off-center, so I have to line up these edge pairs with each other to here. So actually, here's the edge pair over here. So there's a little bit of a learning curve that happens with this, and it is a little more confusing. But in any case, once I do that, this is now the top over here, and this is a middle, this is a middle, and this is the bottom. So the issue with this is that when you're putting this in and you do it layer by layer, you can tell where the layers are supposed to be. This is one layer, it's consistent. This is another layer, it's consistent. Another layer, it's consistent, as is this. For me to do layer by layer here, it's going to be difficult because the layer isn't consistent. Here's the first layer, and you can see that this doesn't necessarily correlate with this because this is the off-center portion of it. So that's what's going to make it difficult. What I'm going to do then, knowing the challenges, if I were to try it layer by layer, is do I solve it like this, so at least I have slices that are consistent, or do I still try it layer by layer? What I'm going to do is, now that I have it off-center, in the off-center way where it can be scrambled, I'm just going to go ahead and start doing the scramble. So this can move over to here, and it moves the same way. So within 180 degrees like this, and then like so, and turn this over here, turn this across here. Actually, I'll turn it twice so that it doesn't line up. And now as I'm doing this, you can see the 3x3x4 structure starting to take hold. And what I mean by that is you can see what the top is and what the bottoms are and what the middle areas are. So I'm going to keep turning this, turn. Actually, one more over here. And then turn this at the bottom, and I'm separating out these shapes here. Now, like I say, I don't like to memorize where certain pieces are because especially with ghost cubes, that enhances the challenge. And this one is, I would say, the next step up. And I have to say it's quite a brilliant idea to do it this way. If you're going to do a cuboid and you're going to do a ghost, you might as well make use of the fact that you have asymmetry in different layers. So you can see very quickly the scrambling of this puzzle can get pretty crazy. And now you don't know what's up, what's down, what's across. Who knows? Turn this over here. So I'm really just separating out all the different layers here. Turn. Now the only thing about this particular puzzle is the turning is a little bit more rigid. It's not because of lubrication, because I've actually lubricated the heck out of this. Turn it over here. So I think it just has to do with the tensioning perhaps. It might need a pretty good degree of tensioning. But I have to say it's exactly as fun as you would anticipate this kind of a puzzle to be. I'll just show more of the movement. So the movement is smooth. It's got that sort of styrofoamy feel like all Shapeways puzzles. And I'm going to keep scrambling this until what I have is that typical lost ghost look. Okay, what do we think? Pretty good? Scrambled? Okay, so what's my approach here? Well, what I want to do is see if I can't maintain the structure, see if I can find what the structure is supposed to be. So I want to find what's going to be my top. Center, edge, 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 corner, 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 just like that. This was pretty easy to find because I could find the axis to move. This one's a little harder, so this looks like a center surrounded by edges and corners. So here's a top over here. So now I see what my layers are supposed to be. So we have a top portion, middle, middle, and a bottom portion over here. So what I need to do is I need to calibrate this puzzle. I can't calibrate it by way of shape. I can't calibrate it by way of color. So I have to do it by way of, well, patterns, I guess. So I'm going to do it layer by layer because just like with this one, if I put in the centers, I may find myself in a situation where it's on the wrong side. And if I put it on the wrong side, then that's going to make solving this puzzle very difficult because the final step means that I won't be able to turn it into the off-center position that it needs in order to solve. Let's see if we can find something a little harder over here. There we go. Okay. I'm going to first do a layer by layer approach again. But what's different is that if I did a layer by layer approach, I have an entire layer that I can put in. Here I can't. Instead, every layer that I put in is going to have 3 slices because this puzzle has 3 definitive slices that are that you can put in that has continuity with each other and then turn it into the area that's off center so that it can become once again a cuboid. So that means that every layer that I have is going to have 3 slices, and that's what I have to put in, and that's what I have to see what I'm going to have to do. So I'm going to do that, but even when I put in the different slices, I don't know if it's going to be correct in terms of the side that it's on. If I put a slice here by the center, maybe it's supposed to be on one side versus another. So here's what I mean. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to put in my middle slice. And now my goal right now is to calibrate the puzzle. Calibrate it so that I know what slices are supposed to be with what. So here's a center. What's supposed to go on either side? Well, it's going to be something that has a straight edge much like this. So I'm going to look for something down here. And it looks like maybe this guy here. So I'm going to take this, move this up to this center and see if it fits. First off, I have to line it up, double turn, and you can see it doesn't fit there. So I'm going to turn this the other way and turn it in. And it sort of fits, but not exactly. It's a little too small, which means it must fit from here. It must fit in this side. Double turn, and aha! So this fits nicely into here. This fits over here, okay. This seems to fit, but there's a little bit of a cleft here. So with ghost puzzles, it's supposed to be the same. Which means this probably goes on the bottom part, over here maybe. So double turn, and pow, this fits nicely. So I'm looking for the edges that fit flush with the centers. There's only going to be 2. The rest are going to be from a different slice. This is one slice here. We got this guy. Well, my suspicion is this goes on the other side. Perhaps it goes here, or maybe it goes up here on the other side here. So let's line it up. And then we're going to turn it in. First I have to line this up here. And bang. So what I have here is these all line up nicely. So I've got this slice here. This is going to be part of how I'm going to calibrate this puzzle so that I know I'm putting everything correct. So what about here? While I have this, this probably goes over to here. So I'm going to move this up like so. And I'm going to turn this to the side and bring this down. And I can see that, nope, that does not fit. That doesn't fit there. Does it come from up here somewhere? And I don't think so. So maybe this one. So let's move this up, across, down, and aha! There it is. So I'm doing this because I need to coordinate what's supposed to go on either side and make sure it's at the same side. So how am I going to do this? All right, now that I have this done, I put these in here just to coordinate things. I'm going to start putting in these slices over here. Now understand, what I put in on this side, this edge and these on the other side, this edge doesn't necessarily belong with this. It's not because it belongs on this layer, it's because it's going to coordinate the slices down here. This can coordinate the slices that happen here. And as a matter of fact, if I turn, no, that doesn't fit over there. This fits over here. This fits over here. So I can coordinate this whole slice all the way around. But I need to coordinate these at the same time too. And if I put something on the wrong side, it's going to completely destroy what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can't put some pieces on the other side over here. So I've got this small piece here. In terms of what belongs over here, I think it's probably this piece. This long, narrow piece comes to this area here. So I'm going to do my swinging U technique, same strategy. There I am. So 2L, you can see that fits. Swing it to R. 2R. Swing it to L. 2L. Swing it to R. And 2R. So you can see this is in. Again, don't think that these combine with this side over here, because this really doesn't belong here. Not yet anyway. So what goes over here? Well, it might be this piece. Let's check it out. It's in the R position, so 2R, and yes, that correlates just fine over here. So 2R, move it to the L side, 2L, move it to the R side, 2R, move it to the L side, and 2L. So we have another slice over here. So we're putting in like a pseudo side, something that's not as consistent as this side, but it'll help coordinate the puzzle to deal with less of a hellish situation later. So what goes to here? Well, this is a large piece. So my thinking is it's another large piece like this. Let's see if this finds a home here. This is in the L position. Line it up. Okay, 2L. And nope, well, actually I put it in the wrong area. Belongs here. 2L, nope. Maybe the other side. Still not giving up on that. Bring this over here, see if it comes to here. 2L, and yeah. Swing it to the R, rather this is L, that was R. Swing it to the L, 2L. Swing it to the R, 2R. Swing it to the L. Gonna go this way to make it easier. And swing it on here. Okay, so now this is in. What goes over here? Well, let's see. And that's gonna be, well, not this piece. Maybe this piece, maybe this piece. Let's try this one out for size. Swing it in and ha-ha! It matches up pretty well. That's a 2L, swing it to the R, 2R, swing it to the L, 2L, swing it to the R, and 2R. So what we have is we have kind of a surrogate side. Again, they don't really belong with each other, but I've just created slices over here. Okay, now what I'm going to do to make sure, because we don't know for a fact We don't know for a fact if this belongs here or this belongs here. And that's what we're going to have to try to figure out. Got to line this up here. So does it belong here? Does it belong here? And that depends on how this is correlated. So what I'm actually going to do is I could get these sides in here, but I don't actually need to do that. All I need to do is I need to get enough of this center slice here to see how I have to turn this. That if I can turn this off center in its proper position and it belongs here, I'll be able to know. So the whole function now is to see if I can't find the center. So this belongs here. What belongs just below this? Does it happen to be below here? And bang, so this belongs over here. So we're doing good like this. I can even move this in and see that this belongs here. Now what about this side? Well, do I need to do that? Let's see what happens if I turn this. This doesn't seem to match up with this. And if I turn this guy down here, this matches up here. So I like this. Notice this fits flush here, and here. All the way up here. So what that tells me, without doing anything else, is this belongs on this side here. This belongs here. This, I'm a little skeptical, but maybe this actually belongs on this side, but on the other side. So I don't really know. So what I'm going to have to do is find the centers here and put it in. So where might that be? Well, is the proper center here on this layer somewhere? The way to tell that is I'm going to move this down here, move it here. Nope, doesn't fit with that. And it doesn't fit with this. Okay, which means that the center that fits with this must be down here somewhere. So you can see how nicely complicated this is. Maybe it's this piece here. Well, what I'm going to do is I know it's probably not this piece. So I'm going to double turn this down here. And then I'm going to see what fits with this edge. And I can see it's this. This is the edge that fits with it. I believe, yeah. So let's turn this back up. And double turn. Okay, so this fits fine. Now what's the other edge that fits down here? Well, is it down here somewhere? Not this one. Not this one. Not this one. Okay, so what that tells me is it must be perhaps this one. This fits down here. So I'm just going to transfer it to those positions. Move this in, double turn, move it back, and double turn. I'm just reorienting. And you can see this is fine. So now this whole slice, oop, I took this one out accidentally. Did not mean to do that. But actually I can keep it here for the time being, just to see if this piece can land over here. So I'm going to move this in, and I see it doesn't move in this way. And if I move this in over here, I see it doesn't seem to move in this way, which begs the question, does this also belong on this side? Now it's hard to see, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of a better job of moving this to here. So I'm going to double turn. Move it like so. Double turn. And move it back. Okay, so now I've put this whole slice in, and this whole slice is in over here. Again, I'm still calibrating the puzzle so that I don't go through danger later on. So moving this over here, and once again you can see this belongs on this side here. Believe me, these steps are necessary. Now let's turn this all the way around and see. Doesn't belong here anywhere. Doesn't belong here. So what that means to me is this belongs on this side. I can prove that by turning it like so, and then turning it around, and bang. So this fits flush over here, all the way here. It doesn't seem to fit flush here, but that's just because I have this turned around. So if I turn this around over here, and then turn it, you can see that it fits fine. Okay, so what does all this mean? What all this means is both of these belong on this side. This slice here fits here, and this slice here fits over here. Now, as you recall, I put these both on the same side. So if I turn this around like here, and I turn this around like So I said that these two are opposite each other, but they're not. This actually belongs over here. So these two will calibrate this over here, which means whatever is here is calibrated on this side. So I'm going to pick one of these and I'm going to calibrate them together. I'm going to leave this go and I'm going to calibrate something over here. So I'm going to solve a side. Which one am I going to solve? Well, why don't I put the proper one here? So I'm going to use this edge and create this little slice here. I have all the pieces that I need. I just got to put them in. So here's a tiny piece over here. I'm going to move this over here. This little triangle will go to this area over here. So move this in. Do we like it? Well, I've got two to choose from. How do I know which one? Is it this one or is it this one? It might be this one, but this looks a little, I don't know, looks a little off, but we'll keep it there for now. So that was a 2R. Move it here. 2L. Move it in R position, 2R, move it in L position, and 2L. So that puts that over there. Now I need to put a cap here. Which one? Well, this one fits nicely here, so it must be this one. So I'm going to do a 2L, fits nicely here, put it in the R position, 2R, put it in the L position, 2L, put in the R position, 2R. Okay, so this is all in, this is all in, this is all in. I'm going to move this once again to its center point. This is in, and these two aren't. They have to be flip-flopped. I foresee a problem here because I can't have an even swap. What that tells me is that this must be the wrong one, because I can't do a odd number swap. I can only do a 3 cycle where I move 3 pieces, or in other words, an odd number swaps. An even number of swaps, rather. So what that tells me is perhaps this needs to move into position. Now when I do that algorithm, this will move here, which is fine. This will move here, which is fine. And this will move here, which is fine. So in one fell swoop, I should be able to get the top and the bottom slices in. So 2R, and I guess this looks a little better. Move it to L position, 2L. Move it to R position, 2R. Move it to L position, and 2L. So now this is in, and magically these slices got in as well, just knowing what this 3 cycle does. Okay, now that I've got these calibrators, let's once again see if they're in the layer that they belong into. I'm going to match these up with this middle slice, which is all in, and I'm going to turn this around to see if this belongs here. And you can see this one does. So we like this one over here, we like this over here. So these two, as you can see, is in the proper layer. And let's look at this here as well. You can see this lines up here, and this lines up over here. So now that we have that, I can create my pseudosides, so to speak, and know that it's all calibrated. Because all I have to do now, well, I shouldn't say all I have to do, but what I have to do at this point is basically, if this is now my top layer, I have to find out where it turns. I got a little bit lost again. Oh, here it is. Like this. And like this, there we go. Doesn't really matter at this point what's top and what's bottom. So there we go, this is over here. Now what I have to do is, just like I've lined this wedge up over here, I have to calibrate this wedge here and this wedge over here. Now this is, since I have it calibrated, I have the puzzle calibrated, all I need is this here. I just need this slice, and this slice. Everything else can be destroyed. Even this bottom piece here I don't have to necessarily maintain just for ease. But now that I've done that, the question is, if I'm to do it layer by layer, now that I've done that, I've got this first layer done. The second layer, first I'm going to do is I'm going to put my edges in. This is in, and this is in. What edge goes here, and which goes here? Well, that's easy to find out. It's the edge that lines up with these edges just at top, because this is calibrating the bottom. So let's see what's supposed to be where. Well, I know it's not this one. Is it this one? Double turn, and you can see that it's not. So the edge that's supposed to be here is going to come from the bottom, and the question is where? Well, it's either going to be this, or it's going to be this. I lay out it's this because this is spoken for and this is spoken for, so it's this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double turn this. Got to line it up first. Let's see, line it up, double turn it, and go kersplat. Now this is lined up, and I just double turn it back. Okay, so this edge is in. So we have this edge in, this edge in, this edge in. Now I got to get this. So where does this go? Well, it's going to be something that's long and lean, like this guy. Nope, this is spoken for because this is already a proper edge to here. So maybe it's this, maybe it's this. But I seem to think it's probably this guy here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double turn this like so. Get that out of the way. Double turn it down. Put it back in and you can see it fits nicely. And bring it up. Okay, so ignoring everything else, what we see is we see that this edge is in, correlated with this edge is in, correlated with this edge is in here, and this edge is in here. So, on my second layer, I've got all my edges in. Now it's a question of corners. Well, you can see that this corner is where it needs to be over here, or is it? There's a little bit of a cleft here, so I'm not so sure. I'm going to find the other edge that looks a little bit like this, corner rather, that looks a little bit like this. See if it's in the bottom layer, and it's right here. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to take this, move it to the side, and move, where is it? This guy, actually, this guy here. Move this guy to here, because I rather suspect that's the right shape that goes here. There's a little cleft here. So if I don't do that, I'm going to end up falsely equivocating it and end up with an impossible parity that I can't get out of. So I'm trying to avoid that at all costs. So move this here, and you can see this is a lot more snug. A lot more snug over here. So that was my 2R. Now I'm just going to move this layer here to the L position, and then do 2L. Now move this layer here to the R position, and then do 2R, and then finally once again move it to the L position and do 2L. And now we just move this back. So you can see we're fine. These edges are still in. Now we're kind of destroying what was at the at this next layer here, but that's okay. I can easily get those back. So this wedge is in. Now what goes over here? Well, I'm going to see if it's already here in the bottom layer. Is it this? I don't think so, because this goes below this. It belongs here. So I know it's not to be over here, so I'm going to get that out of the way. Now the one that belongs here might actually be in this layer. I don't know that yet. But I'm going to turn this and see if this fits, and you can see this doesn't. So we move it back, and then we move on. And then just randomly turn it. And aha, this fits here nicely. So that was my 2L. Immediately do my 2R, rather swing it to the R position, and then do a 2R, swing it to the L position, 2L, swing it to the R position, 2R. What I like about the swinging U technique is it doesn't offset any of the other layers that you've done. So I put this in here, and you can see this second layer is done. Everything is matched up to over here. Come to here, this is already in, which is good. That was a little gift. Now I got to put this one in. So where does it come from? Well, it's not going to be this, because this is matched up to over here. So let's just kind of move this around like so. And now we'll do a move like this, and you can see this one doesn't match up. So, not the right one. So we keep going. Put this like so. Double turn, and yes. So that was my 2L. Swing it to R position. 2R. Swing it to L position. 2L. and swing it to R position. And 2R. Now notice there's no difference in the techniques from one cuboid to the next. It's just perspective. And this guy's not letting me turn. Something's blocked. There we go. 2R. And then we simply move it back. Okay, so now you can see from the standpoint of the second layer, this is in and this is in. Now it's a question of doing this layer here. So all of these layers have 3 slices. 1, 2, 3. This one here, 1, 2, and 3. This is part of this middle one. So now with this guy, I turn it upside down, and this layer are all derivative of these layers. I already fixed this layer here, I just have this one to go. So I'm going to do this the same way I do this and this. First step, make sure all my corners are in. So let's see what corners are going to be in here. I'm going to turn this over here. I'm going to match this up to here. I'm matching this up, so you see that this corner is in. All right, so these slices are in. Looking at this, I'm going to put the corners in first. You can see this corner is in here, this corner is in over here, this isn't, and this isn't. So basically I have 2 corners in, these corners are out, they have to be flipped. So I'm going to do this the same way that I've done for all the cuboids. This is in, and we're going to do an adjacent corner swap over here. Now because I already have this in, if I do an adjacent corner swap of both of these, then I'm going to end up corner swapping this. We'll try to maintain this as much as possible. So I'm just going to move this layer here. 2R, U, 2R, UI, R. That's a UI and a D, just these 2 layers. Then finish it off with a 2R, UI, 2R, U, 2R. Okay? Move this in, you can see this corner's in, this corner's in, this corner's in, and this corner's in. We'll move this back to line up. Okay, so basically what we have here, if you can see it, I'll even move this into position, is this layer's in, we just have to get the edges. This edge is in, and this edge is in, this and this all need to be placed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an opposite edge swap to get these 2 in. That's what I have to do, an opposite edge swap. Now if I do that, that's going to create placement parity. So instead of just doing this layer, I'm actually going to do both these layers now. So if I do these 2 and just this layer, I'm going to create placement parity with the top and the bottom. I'd rather not do that. Just in case I do that, I'm going to line this up like this. So I'm going to go like 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U. Okay, so you can see that this center is now in and this center is now in. Actually, we can now turn this back. Okay. So now you can see that this layer is in over here. So if you can imagine, this layer is in here, the top layer with 3 slices, the middle layer with 1, 2, 3 slices, and this middle layer with 1, 2, 3 slices. So these are all in. Now I just got to deal with the top part. Now I kept these together, but let's see what we've got here. I put this in. Now this is lined up here, this is lined up, and this is lined up. So now that I've got that, I've created all my slices. This has already been dealt with, and I just move this into position, splat, clink, and no problems, it is done. Solved. There it is. Hell's Cuboid. Now, that actually went pretty well. Didn't have to deal with any parities that happened with this, but it was interesting to have to put in the different slices and solve it in conjunction with this side, and this side, doing each layer individually like that. So because of that, I can now return the Hell's Cuboid back to its area, the Heaven's Cuboid back to its area, and now return them back to the collection. So there you have it, a demonstration of how to take a much more complicated puzzle, but still solving using exactly the same techniques that we talked about with the very basic of the 3x3x4, using nothing more than corner swaps, edge swaps, and the swinging U technique. You're able to take that and use that for this brilliantly designed and put together puzzle. Anyway, onwards to other types of puzzles in the future. Thanks for watching.